If you've ever looked at your work and thought, this looks too much like the artist I follow on Instagram, you're not alone. Every artist who has ever created anything has wrestled with the fear of being derivative. In fact, questioning whether our work is original is often a sign that we're actively developing our artistic voice, not proof that we don't have one. Today, let's break down what derivative art actually is, how influence works in the creative process, and most importantly, what practical steps you can take if you worry your art looks too much like someone else's. Whether you're reading this on the blog or watching on YouTube, my goal is the same: to help you create work that feels truly unmistakably yours. Hi, I'm Carrie, and I'm here to remind you you're already an artist. Here on Artists Strong, I help creatives stop feeling like a copyist or hobbyist so they can create their first real series of artwork and build a portfolio they're proud of. If you are ready to stop the DIY learning and get the support and structure to finally draw and paint with your unique voice, I'm here to help. Sign up and watch my workshop, How to Transform Your Ideas into Artwork That's Uniquely Yours. To date, thousands have joined the community. The workshop is completely free, and the link is in the description below. Now, let's answer the question, what is derivative art? Derivative art is artwork that heavily imitates another artist's style, subject matter, composition, or creative choices, often to the point where the original creator's voice overshadows the new work. It's not the same as being inspired by another artist, though it often comes from a place of inspiration. Being derivative happens when the influence becomes so dominant that the final piece could reasonably be mistaken for someone else's. Signs a piece may be considered derivative. The color palette, brushwork, or technique mimics a recognizable artist. The composition or layout is nearly identical to another work. Viewers mistake your piece for the work of a known artist. You follow someone's process step by step instead of making your own decisions. The work lacks personal context, meaning, or interpretation. When derivative art crosses a line. Derivative work becomes ethically and sometimes legally problematic when it copies a living artist's signature style in a way that competes with them commercially. It replicates unique elements, not generic techniques, that the original artist is known for. It uses someone's reference, composition, or creative solution without transformation. But here's the nuance most people miss. Derivative work is often a normal stage of learning. What matters is whether artists grow beyond it. Influence is not only normal, it's necessary. Every artist you admire was influenced by someone else. Monet was influenced by Boudin. Basquiat was influenced by Picasso. Frida Kahlo was influenced by her political environment, personal identity, and even the work of her husband, Diego Rivera. Contemporary art schools literally teach students by having them copy old masters. Influence is unavoidable. It's how we learn. Trouble arises only when artists get stuck, when influence doesn't evolve into something new, personalized, and connected to their own life. Your job isn't to eliminate influence. Your job is to digest it. Examples of derivative art versus inspired work. Here are some clear illustrations. Example 1, technique versus voice. A painting uses the exact color palette, brushstrokes, and flower subject matter of a trending Instagram painter whose style is instantly recognizable. Inspired, you study their loose brushwork but apply it to your own subject matter, your garden, your memories, your photos, and choose a palette rooted in your personal meaning. Example 2, composition. You replicate the same close-up portrait cropping, neon rim lighting, and stylized facial features as a well-known digital artist. Inspired. You experiment with dramatic lighting too, but you explore different moods, emotions, and narratives unique to your story. Example 3, subject matter. You recreate someone's surreal floating orb landscapes with the same motifs and symbolism. Inspired, you're drawn to surrealism, but you use your own symbols, objects from your childhood, textures from your environment, themes from your lived experience. Why artists slip into derivative work and why that's okay. You might find yourself unintentionally replicating another artist because you admire their work deeply. You use them as your primary reference source. You spend hours studying their process. You're still learning technique and don't yet have your way. You haven't explored your personal themes deeply enough. You fear making something bad, so you cling to what you know works. These are not flaws, they're signs of growth. Derivative tendencies are often symptoms, not failures. Here is where I challenge you to take your art to the next level. How to step out of influence and into your own voice. Here are strategies I teach inside Artist Strong programs, and they work whether you're a beginner or a lifelong creator. 1. Diversify your inputs. If you study only 1 or 2 living artists, your art will naturally echo theirs. Instead, study art across different centuries. Collect references from nature, architecture, your environment. Explore design, fashion, photography, craft, anything visual. Put as much real life into your reference folder as artwork. The more inputs you have, the more original your output becomes. 2. Create without looking at anyone else's. Try an experiment. For your next piece, choose a theme or subject, but no Pinterest, no Instagram, no saved images from other artists. Work from life or your own photos. This forces you to make the creative decisions. 3. Mix and merge. If you love elements from different artists, don't adopt them whole, combine them. For example, color influence from one, composition influence from another, emotional tone from your own life. The more sources you blend, the more unique the outcome. 4. Build work from your lived experience. Personal stories cannot be replicated. Ask yourself, what do I notice that others overlook? What moments in my life could only come from me? What emotions or experiences do I want to explore? What symbols or objects appear across my life? These are the seeds of originality. 5. Practice series creation. This is especially powerful. When you commit to a 3 to 10 piece series, you make repeated decisions. You refine through experimentation. You identify what's working and what's uniquely yours. You stop trying to get it right and start exploring. Series work is where artistic voice emerges. 6. Give yourself distance. Avoid posting every experiment online. Why? Because early feedback, especially from non-artists, can steer you toward what's pleasing rather than what's authentic. Create in private. Share once things feel more developed. 7. Notice your patterns. Look at your last 10 pieces and ask, what colors repeat? What subjects keep showing up? What tools do you reach for over and over? What emotions come through? I also encourage you to look at the elements in your art that you consider mistakes or insufficient in some way, because often that is where your unique style is peeking through. These patterns are the building blocks of your voice. 8. Make ugly work on purpose. If you only create what looks polished, you'll never take risks. Try switching mediums, limiting your palette, changing format or scale, drawing with your non-dominant hand. Each disruption forces you to stop copying like muscle memory and start making decisions. The fear of being derivative is a sign you're growing. Artists who worry about derivation are usually the ones most committed to integrity. You're not trying to copy, you're trying to find you. And that's the entire point of having an artistic practice, to discover how you see the world and translate that into marks, shapes, colors, and stories. You don't have to rush the process. You simply have to stay in the work. Derivative art is not a dead end. It's a doorway. Influence becomes a problem only if you never step through it. With awareness, exploration, and a willingness to experiment, you'll grow into an artistic voice that is naturally, unmistakably your own. And when you do, the work feels different. It feels alive because it came from you. If you are ready to go deeper into developing your unique style and building confidence in your creative identity, I'd love to support you. My programs and resources are designed specifically for self-taught artists stepping into their own voice. Visit artiststrong.com to learn more. Thank you so much for watching. As always, please like and subscribe to my work so that you never miss an episode. And tell me what you'd like to learn about next in the community tab. Your ideas determine the content I create. Remember, proudly call yourself an artist. Together we are Artist Strong.